Hey third graders, today we're going to be doing Module 2, Lesson 9. Our goal today is to decompose a liter to reason about the size of 1 liter, 100 milliliters, 10 milliliters, and 1 milliliter. Today we're going to be using liquid volume. We're going to be decomposing, which means to break apart, and we're going to be reasoning, which just means to think about something. In the metric system, when we measure liquid, we use something called liters and milliliters. We have to use a different way to measure liquid because liquid can take the shape of its container. So we have to figure out a different way to measure the liquid inside. So we use liters and milliliters in the metric system to do that. If you guys have ever had a 2-liter bottle of soda, you've used the metric system. So if you could imagine half of that bottle of soda, that would be 1 liter, and that's going to be the largest amount of liquid that we're going to measure today. The smallest amount of liquid that we're going to measure today is something called a milliliter. You'll notice that word liter inside of milliliter, and a milliliter is 20 drops of something. So if you have 20 drops of something, that's the same amount as 1 milliliter. Since you're at home, if you're curious about this, you could go ahead and find your 2-liter bottle of soda and fill it halfway. You could also put 20 drops of a liquid like water into a cup and see how much that looks like. Here is my favorite part about the metric system. Everything in the metric system has something in common to help you remember what each of the units is worth. When we measure in weight in the metric system, 1,000 grams equals 1 kilogram. When we're measuring with liquid volume, 1,000 meters equals 1 liter. Wow, that is so easy. Just to remind you, kilo means 1,000. So if we have 1,000 grams, we have 1,000 grams or 1 kilogram. Now it's a little different over here. Milli means a part of 1,000. So it's like a piece of 1,000. So if you have 1,000 parts of 1,000, you get a liter. So both of these things mean about the same thing. They both refer to that 1,000. So that's a really great way to remember all of the different words that you guys have to remember for the metric system. On the note side of your paper, draw a tape diagram. Divide it into 4 equal pieces. We're going to label each of these pieces to show us how metric system goes with the place value system that you guys already know about. We did this with grams and kilograms. Starting from the right side, I'd like you to put 1 milliliter above it. The abbreviation for milliliter is little m, big L, which is kind of fun. In the next one, I want you to put 10 milliliters, little m, big L. In the next one, 100 milliliters. And then finally, in the last one, we're just going to put a capital L for liter. We're going to do this to reason about the size of a liter versus a milliliter. We already know that 1,000 milliliters equals a liter, but let's go ahead and use something similar to our place value to help us get there. So how many 1 milliliters do I need to get to 10 milliliters? Let's go ahead and count by ones until we get to 10. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. If I take all of these, I could make 1 10 milliliter. So now each of my tally marks in this one is going to be worth 10 milliliters. How many 10 milliliters do I need to equal 100 milliliters? Let's do that and find out. So 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. So I used 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Ooh, I used 10 again. So if I put all of these together, go ahead and circle yours too, and we put them over here into 1, then this right here would equal 100 milliliters. How many 100 milliliters do I need to make 1 liter? Well, how many milliliters are in a liter? Yeah, there's 1,000. So we're going to count by hundreds until we get to 1,000. So 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, 700, 800, 900, 1,000, or 1,000. So if I put all of these together, then I get 1 liter. If I use multiplication to help me understand the pattern that I'm seeing, because in math, remember, you're always trying to find the patterns that make sense. So if I had 10 milliliters, so 1 milliliter times 10 equals 10 milliliters. And if I take one of my 10 milliliters and I times it by 10 again, make 10 groups of that, I get to my 100 milliliters. If I take one 100 milliliter and I times it by 10 again, I get 1 liter. Do you see the pattern here? We're timesing by 10 to get to the next place value. And that would be similar to if we had our ones, our tens, our hundreds, and our thousands for our normal number system. For your final problem today, I'd like you guys to draw these number bonds on the other side of your paper and complete the blank missing value, so the unknown value. On A, if you start with 1 liter and you divide it into 200 milliliters, how much is on the other part? On B, if you have 1 liter and you divide part of it into 900 milliliters, how many milliliters are on the other part? And finally on C, I want you guys to use your imagination and make your own 1 liter number bond. I know that some of you guys are going to go kind of crazy with this, so have a good time. See you guys tomorrow.